Community, HORIZEN.global. Antiwar.com reports progress has been made in the Yemeni peace talks being held in Sweden, and while there is growing doubt that there will be time to finalize every issue, some new deals were finalized on Wednesday. The biggest aspect of this deal will be the reopening of the Sana'a International Airport, albeit only to domestic flights. Under the deal, all international flights to Houthi-held Sana'a have to stop in the Saudi-dominated city of Aden for a security check. This was the deal pro-Saudi factions had before, but with an important difference. They'd wanted the rights to unconditionally search all Sana'a-bound flights, but now the UN will be conducting any security-related searches. Somewhat less important, there has been a deal to resume oil and gas exports from Yemen, which would bring in some badly needed money for the central bank. Yemen is, however, a fairly small exporter even in the best of times, so this isn't exactly going to bring much relief to their failing economy. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
He has to make a burrow in a tree stump. That's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus Network satellite.
This is
the Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
Well, hey there, guys. How we doing today? Welcome into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live on this Thursday afternoon on your drive home, wherever you might happen to be. That's Will and Aria here. Good news day today, I guess. You got Californians doing what Californians do. You got Trump doing what Trump does. It's just a whole lot of the same old, same old. We were gonna, in honor of Reardon, our newest fan, we've decided that we're gonna do a little more. Oh look, and he's here. Yay!
Are you about to play a hook bar?
Yeah, but we're going to comment on it as it goes through because this is literally about foreign policy.
Okay.
So we're gonna this actually was this was given at the college that I'm really upset is in Berkeley and I'm not able to go to because it's all the way out in California. It's what sucks.
I wouldn't want to go there anyway.
Well, when you hear like Sheikh Hamza and the rest of these guys are like, oh, we need institutions, we need kids to go to them. We're going to build ours in Berkeley.
Right.
Which means like 0.002% of the whole community can afford to go there. You know? But we're going to go ahead and get this actually was given right after one of the most recent attacks. And he decided that it's time, since these are public, to start. And he did a whole series of these on practice and how to respond to insult and to violence as well. So we're going to start out with this one. This is the first segment for today. It's called Practicing. Start practicing. Stop pretending.
What happened to the audio?
It had to tell you that it was at Pleasanton, California.
الحمد لله نحمد الله سبحانه وتعالى ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وصلواته وسلامه على أفضل خلق الله على سيدنا وحبيبنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحابته ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فيا عباد الله أوصيكم وأوصي نفسي بتقوى الله في السر والعلانية فإن مخافة الله رأس الحكمة والله سبحانه وتعالى جعل العاقبة للمتقين اللهم اجعلنا وإياكم منهم. الحمد لله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran لا تبرون في أموالكم وأنفسكم ولا تسمعن من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم ومن الذين أشركوا أذى كثيرا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that you will be tested in your wealth and in your persons, in your lives, your property and your persons, your well-being, your safety. And you will hear much harm, things that bother you, anything that harms you, you'll hear much harm from the people who were given the book before you, meaning the Jews and the Christians, Ahlul Kitab, and from those who are polytheists, idolaters, وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا أَذًى كَثِيرًا. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells how you respond to that. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا إِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. So if you show patience, and if you have taqwa, piety, that's the essence of this affair. إِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. That's at the root of what this affair is about. That's how you're tested. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. That He created life and death, or death and life, in order to try you. The same word, you're going to have tribulation, bala. You're going to have tribulation. He did this in order to try you, to see which of you is the most beautiful in action. أحسن عملا. The people of ihsan. The people that respond. ادفع بالتي هي أحسن. Respond in the most beautiful way. Right? لا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة. A good deed and a bad deed are not equal. They're not equal. So respond to a bad deed with a good deed. That's the point. ادفع بالتي هي أحسن. That when you push back with a good thing. Not with a bad thing. Push back with a good thing. And this is reiterated in the hadith when the Prophet said to Mu'adh, he gave him this advice. He said, خَالِقَ النَّاسِ بِخُلُقٍ حَسَنٍ. Have beautiful character. وَأَتْبِعْ سَيِّئَةَ الْحَسَنَةَ تَمْحُهَا. And follow up any foul deed, whether it comes from you or somebody else, with a good deed. تَمْحُهَا. And it will obliterate it. Because the nature of goodness, it obliterates evil. Some theologian argued that evil is actually the absence of goodness. That evil is present because of the vacuum of goodness. So if there's goodness, evil doesn't have any room to exercise itself. So the Prophet ﷺ was told to be patient. And his people were told to be patient. Now, one of the things, you're looking, I'm sure all of you are aware of what's happening around the Muslim world. You see, Look at the countries where things are not out of control in the Muslim world. Malaysia is a very educated place. Turkey is a very educated place. You know, they're Muslims. If you go to Turkey, they love Islam. The mosques are filled. Right? If you go to Malaysia, they love Islam. Their mosques are filled. Go to certain Muslim countries and you'll see that it's very different from other Muslim countries. What is the hallmark of the distinguishing characteristic that makes them different? I will guarantee you, it's not Iman. It's not Iman. It's education. They have higher levels of education. It's as simple as that. The more educated you are, the less likely you are to make a fool out of yourself. Because people who are ignorant people do ignorant things. That's why they're called juhal. The jahil is somebody who does ignorant things. It's called jahiliyah. Now, when you have a lot of ignorant people, but you have regulators for those ignorant people, these are called shuyukh. Like in a tribal society, you have a wise person. That's what sheikh means, wise. That's one of the meanings. It has several meanings in Arabic. One of them is wise. So when there's a problem, the people, the ignorant people, they go to the wise person and they say, what should we do? And then he says, we should do this or this, settle down, calm down. Now, when the Sahaba, you know, the Arabs, by their nature, Arabs are a desert people by their nature. Desert people are hot people. This is well known. They have by their nature a choleric temperament. They're hot people. The Prophet ﷺ was dealing with them all the time. You can read Surah from beginning to end, and you will see constantly, even amongst his companions, hot-headedness.
All right, we'll be back with the rest of Hamza Yusuf from Zaytuna Institute in Berkeley, California, right after this.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.Global studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another chilly day in the Shire. Got up for work this morning. It was 8 degrees on my way to work. That's just no.
It was 5 when I got off work.
No. I don't remember it being this cold this many days last year. Like last year it was cold. It was really snowy and slushy and mucky, but it was like in the 20s.
Well, winter hasn't even officially started yet.
Yeah, I know. And we've had a week of 5-degree weather, in the middle of the night. We got to love it.
Yeah, why did they pick this state again?
Because there's not anybody here. Yeah. Oh, wait.
That's true of a lot of warm states, too.
Now we know why. Now we know why. Oh, actually, no, it's not. That's the cold weather's not why. It's the taxes. That's right. It's the government. The government here is why. In the live free or die state.
I love that meme, though, that says this is the land of pumpkins and anarchists.
Yes.
They're not wrong.
This part of New Hampshire is pumpkins and anarchists. So, now we've been listening to a khutbah. You guys already know what that is by now. This coming from California. I can't remember the name of the city. Modesto, I think is what it says here. Modesto, California. That's in California, right? Yeah, Modesto. And basically it was...
So culturally appropriated city name.
From who?
I don't know. It's not an English word.
Well, yeah, but the Spanish owned all of that for a lot longer than we did. And and the Mexicans were there before. They were there. So, anyway. But get back into this. It's one of my favorites, actually. I've probably heard this one a dozen times. It's basically a response because you don't really see those responses in the media. From the leaders of our community. So without any further ado.
Hot-headedness. Almost. Really, this is part of our tradition. But what is the proletariat always doing? calm down. When they were shouting takbir before a battle, he said, "Arba'u bi anfusikum." Have some dignity. Innakum la tad'una asam. You're not calling on a deaf God.
Now you hear that, right? What is everybody's favorite thing about to call out about the Muslims and the terrorists, right? Allahu Akbar! Right. He just specifically said that when the companions of Muhammad, when Muhammad was alive, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would do that, his response was, Jesus, would you please have some dignity? God's not deaf. He can hear you. There's no need for you to shout like idiots. I mean, isn't that funny? I love like some of the times you read the Hadith traditions and the Prophet.
Hey, God can hear you just fine.
Yeah, if He can hear you when you pray to yourself, there's no need to scream at the top of your lungs.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's just it. They're not shouting for God. I mean, they're doing the psychotic equivalent of virtue signaling.
It's they're trying to whip themselves up.
Yeah,
you know, but they're trying to make it about, you know, some theological purpose. And he's just like, "What are you doing? Why are you screaming? Seriously, what are you doing? Like, there's no need for this. You look like idiots. You sound like monkeys." That's what they do now. Like there's a famous hadith that talks about it. It says, "Woe to the Arabs."
Well, I imagine if you're about to charge at somebody with a sword or a machine gun or something, it probably is kind of hard not to scream.
Right.
You know? Because, I mean, your adrenaline's pumping. You're about to go murder somebody. It's intense. I wouldn't condone it by any means, but I mean, it doesn't get more animalistic and barbaric than that. So not at all surprised that they feel the urge to shout something.
Yeah. But again, you know, like this is one of those things that's called out by the anti-Muslim types all the time. Like, oh, you know, these people, he's screaming. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And the religion tells them they shouldn't. You know, like, so basically we're starting out like from the very beginning, the very first step in the whole process, doing something you're told not to do by the Prophet. It's like Christians going to war. It's like, you do realize you should never have even picked up the gun, right?
Yeah.
Come on, you know, and this should be basic introductory level stuff here, folks.
He never raised his voice in the marketplace. The ulama say, or he rarely did it. He didn't do it as a habit. The few times that he was in the marketplace, one time he really did it with some humor, with a man who was trying to sell something, and the Prophet put his hands, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on the man's eyes, and he said, "Man yashtari hadha al-abd?" Who's going to buy this slave? And then he said, "Idan tajiduni 'inda Allahi kasida." Like, I'm not, because you have to shout when your goods aren't good, then you have to shout out. When they're good, you don't have to say, "Oh." That means you don't think I'm something that'll sell easily, so you have to advertise. That's what he was essentially saying. He said, "Lasta 'inda Allahi bikazib." You're not something of little worth with Allah. That was Zahir. He said, "Zahirun badiyatun wa nahnu hadirun." The Prophet ﷺ, this was his nature. He was once walking in a Sahih Hadith, Aisha related. He was walking with Aisha, and this is in Medina. This is after he has power. Not in Mecca, where they were oppressed. No, he's in Medina, and he's with his wife. And a group of Ahlul Kitab walked by, and one of them, or all of them, said, "Assalamu alaikum." Now this is a way of just trying to goat somebody. Because salam means peace, sam means death. But you know, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, it's almost like you could get away with it. Aisha heard that and she said, "Wa alaykum, wa la'natullah, wa ghadiballahu alaykum." You know, and on you, death, and the damnation of God. Go to hell, and may God's wrath be upon you.
I like this chick.
Said, "Mahlan ya Aisha." Slow down.
She's about it.
Go easy, Aisha. Mahlan ya Aisha. And then Aisha, you know, here's this young woman who loves her husband, and she knows he's the messenger of Allah, and she hears somebody speaking ill of him. She gets angry. what does he say? Man, slow down, take it easy. And then he says, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, عليك بالرفق. Be gentle. عليك بالرفق.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
من أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على
عليك بالرفق وإياك والعنف والفحش. Beware of violence and using foul language. Anything that's uncouth. ألم تسمعهم يا رسول الله? Here's Aisha, because she was a strong woman. Didn't you hear what they said? Maybe he didn't hear. Maybe he doesn't understand why I reacted. Maybe he thought they said Assalamu alaikum. ألم تسمع ما قالوا يا رسول الله؟ قال صلى الله عليه وسلم ألم تسمع ما قلت يا عائشة? Didn't you hear what I said? In other words, who's establishing the sunnah here? You or me? Who's establishing the sunnah? Who are you following? Your nafs, your hawa? Because this is about constraint. This is about intasbiru. وَتَتَّقُوا. If you show patience, when you're being provoked, when you're being angered. لَيْسَ الشَّدِيدُ شَدِيدَ الصُّرَعَةِ. The strong man is not the man who can overthrow anybody, who can wrestle anybody down. The strong man, the Prophet ﷺ said, the strong man is the one who controls his anger. The one who controls his anger. A man came, he said, Ya Rasulullah, awsini, la taghdab. Awsini, la taghdab. Awsini. He kept saying, awsini, give me some real advice. Well, what does that mean? Don't get angry. Right? I'm an Arab. Change my personality? No, because this is about elevating yourself above your human nature to a transformed nature, the nature of belief, the nature of taqwa. This is what this deen is about. We have Muslims all over the ummah making this deen look like it's a religion of fools. Really? Out of some perceived grievances. From who? To whom? The Prophet, you don't think he was cursed in his lifetime? They wrote poems about him. Those poems are still in our books of literature. Our ulama didn't shy away from writing what they wrote about the Prophet. You can read Ibn Hisham, and you can read the ridicules that these poets, and they were great poets, not these idiots and fools. These were real poets. The Arab, they could write poetry. Ka'b ibn Zuhair, who made tawbah from his poem. What did the Prophet say? Sahih al-Bukhari, Kitab al-Manaqib. This is in the Sahih. Here's what he said in Mecca to his Sahaba. They're hearing all of these things about the Prophet ﷺ. What does he say? In a riwayah of Ahmad and others, he says, Unduru ibadallah. Reflect on this, O servants of Allah. And in al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari, he says, أَلَا تَعْجَبُونَ. Aren't you amazed? أَلَا تَعْجَبُونَ كَيْفَ يَصْرِفَ اللَّهُ عَنِّي شَتْمَ قُرَيْشٍ وَلَعْنَهُمْ. Aren't you amazed how Allah removes whatever the Quraysh have to say about me that's negative? He diverts it from me. Isn't that amazing to you? All of you? Isn't that amazing? He said, يشتمون مذمما ويلعنون مذمما وأنا محمد. They're talking about this character named Muhammad. They're cursing this guy named Muhammad. They intended the Prophet in their poems. Everybody knew they intended, but how did he look at it? I don't know who they're talking about. That's not me. I'm Muhammad. I'm not Muhammad. I'm not Muhammadto. Dante's Muhammadto. I'm not Muhammad, or however they think they can pronounce that name. That's not the Prophet they're talking about. Don't think they're talking about the Prophet. Nothing that they say can reach the Prophet. The dogs will bark all night at the moon. Do the sounds of the dogs affect the glory of the moon crossing the sky? Do they affect the glory of the moon? We know who our Prophet was. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The problem is we haven't told anybody else. We've kept this to ourselves. Most of these people are just ignorant people. And there are some very devious, demonic people here. And I'll give you an example about this. There are people that want to see Muslims killing Jews, And there are people that want to see Muslims killing Christians. This is what they want. They want Muslims in Egypt. Where did they air this? They first showed up in Egypt on Egyptian television. Who's doing this and why? What are they trying to get out of this? The internet is filled with slanders about the Prophet ﷺ. It's filled with them.
Now, this is a really an odd thing. Now, this is right before the Egyptian revolution, right? Well, not a revolution. The CIA coup where they overthrew the democratically elected government of Egypt because they elected the party that the United States didn't want to.
But it wasn't a coup, remember?
Yeah. At the time, when the Muslim Brotherhood took over, they opened freedom of speech. So Saudi Arabia opened 2 television stations there. And you remember that video that went around that caused all those riots a couple years ago? They were like, oh, this is a movie about the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they ended up killing like some UN. Remember Benghazi was supposed to have been over a video? You don't remember that? No? Okay, well, anyway, Benghazi was supposed
there's too much crap happening on like a weekly basis for me to...
Right. Well, it turns out the first people to air that movie were Saudi state-controlled television stations in Egypt. Mm-hmm. Isn't that odd that Saudi state-controlled television stations would be the first stations to air in full a movie made specifically to insult the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That doesn't really make any sense to me. How about you?
Well, I mean, they were trying to
incite riots in Egypt. Yeah, that was the whole purpose of it. And instead, they ended up with Benghazi in Libya to go along with the riots in Egypt.
Don't Google it because you'll vomit, you'll throw up. There's images, there's pictures, there's cartoons, there's comic books, making fun, mocking. This is the reality, but why now? And why this? Really, you think about this. Who's being manipulated here? What does Allah say to Shaitan? وَاسْتَفْزِزْ مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتَ مِنْهُ. Provoke, instigate, rile up those among them, Bani Adam, who you're able to. بِصَوْتِكَ, with your voice, your lies, your deceptions. He's the great deceiver. He's the liar. He loves what's happening now. This Shaitan is having a field day. And he's just laughing at look at these. You chose me over these? Look at these pathetic creatures. You chose me over these? Look at them. Look how easy it is to manipulate them. All I have to do is spread rumors. Put something on the internet, and look, they're all behaving like a bunch of fools and idiots. Now, Shaitan is happy as pie. And all his minions. وَأَجْلِبْ عَلَيْهِمْ بِخَيْلِكَ وَرَجْلِكَ. Bring your cavalry, bring your infantry. He's got minions. Really. People say, oh, there's a big conspiracy. It is the Iblis. Most of these people don't know they're part of the Iblisic conspiracy. They don't know that. They just hear whispers in their heart. I think I'll try that. That's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. But this is what's going on. This is what Allah is telling us. And then what does He say? وَشَارِكُمْ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ. Get them to do haram things.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Horizon Global studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We've been listening to a sermon from Hamza Yusuf in Modesto, California, particularly on I guess self-control would be the way to put it. Self-control as the topic.
Well, I would say the topic is peace more than self-control. Well, I don't know. Peace requires self-control. So.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what he's saying is that, we could really live in this really peaceful world and it would be so nice.
But we'd have to stop being stupid, psychotic apes.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have that in them.
Right.
I know they have the psychotic ape in them.
Right. And I love how he's, he's always like, and the devil just looks at us and he's like, look at these stupid monkeys. They're so funny and easy to manipulate, and we're referred to as monkeys by the devil in Quran. There's in one of the verses, we're referred to as apes, so that idea of man as ape, as the thinking ape, exists even in Quran. Like the devil refers to us as that, like these are thinking monkeys, and you want me to what? To bow to what? The thinking monkey. You do realize they're like one chromosome from throwing poop at each other. And even then, as we have seen,
know how far we really are from that. I mean, have you seen Facebook?
For real. I've seen videos of people throwing poop at people at McDonald's on Facebook. They wouldn't let her use the bathroom because it was for customers only. So she took and went over and grabbed some napkins.
Oh my God.
And dropped the deuce in the napkins in her hand. She just stood there. She pulled her pants down and kind of hunkered down a little bit and stood there right in front of the register, dropped the deuce in the napkins, and then threw them at the girl behind the register. I'm not kidding.
That's biological terrorism.
It is. It is. Thinking monkeys, folks. Thinking monkeys.
Occasionally thinking monkeys.
Yeah, occasionally thinking monkeys.
83 pages to declare why he did it. You know why he did it? He said, we're turning into Eurasia. The Muslims are taking over, and the people that are doing it are the multiculturalists. The people that want to tell us we can live with Muslims, that they're the same as us, that they share the same values with us. No, my friends, we have to have preemptive strikes now. This is his theology. This is his ideology. He was influenced by people in this country writing books. He quoted them. And Muslims, let's go destroy the American embassy. This is our response. We don't build anymore. We built the greatest buildings in the world. We built the greatest universities in the world. And now you look at the Muslim community seriously. And you have to think about this. Now in the United States, my warning to all of you, we have a window of opportunity, but I'm laying out a warning. We have a window of opportunity in this country to let people know who we are. Because there's other people defining us, and they're using very sophisticated strategies, demonic strategies, to instigate, to provoke, to make Muslims react. You know what Sun Tzu says in The Art of War? He says, anger your enemies, provoke them, so that they fall into disarray. They can't even think. This is what's happened to our community. People can't even think straight. No, patience and taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, "Ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah." Hold to prayer. Hold to prayer. Really. In Surah Al-Mumtahana, Allah says an amazing thing. He says, رَبَّنَا لَا تَجْعَلْنَا فِتْنَةً لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Don't make us a tribulation for those who disbelieve. Fakhruddin al-Razi and others say it means we become such a negative example that people have no encouragement to even think about Islam. They're not interested in finding out. We become a barrier for any interest in Islam. And then he says, immediately after that, وَغْفِرْ لَنَا رَبَّنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Oh Allah, forgive us. You can destroy us. You're Aziz, you're Hakim, but forgive us. Fakhruddin al-Razi says, they put asking not to be a tribulation for the disbelievers before asking for forgiveness, because if you become a tribulation for those who don't know anything about Islam, you might not get the forgiveness of God. They're more worried about being a tribulation for disbelievers than their forgiveness. That's what he said. Now you look at the ayahs that follow that, they're about relations between people that you have animosity with. Right? عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَجْعَلْ بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ عَدَيْتُم مِّنْهُمْ مَوَدَّةً. Allah can take people who you are fighting now and put between you love. Wallahu qadir. Allah's all-powerful. He can make people you don't like now, or you hate now, or they hate you. He can make them your friend. Like the Mongols, they invaded the Muslim land. Within 50 years, people that saw them come as pagans conquering them were praying side by side with them in mosques they built. In 50 years.
That's historically accurate. The Mongols came in and they literally stacked the heads of Muslims.
I mean, the Mongols did that everywhere.
Yeah. But what they didn't do everywhere is it's like the only time in history it's ever happened that an occupier gave up its culture. Usually it's the other way around. An occupying society comes in and they assert their dominance over the local cultures and religions. And what happened with the Mongols is the Mongols came into the Muslim lands. They killed the Muslim leaders. They burned the Muslim books. And then within 50 years, kickstarted the Second Islamic Golden Age. Within 50 years, within 2 rulers, they were a Muslim state, so to speak. The heads of state had all converted to Islam. The followers, the rank and file Mongols, Mongolia itself even, had become Muslim. So for the first time in history, the occupying culture became the occupied culture, basically, is the only way I can think. Like they came to destroy and occupy and themselves gave up their own culture, their own religion, and embraced the culture and religion of those who they've occupied. It's literally never happened in history besides that.
The great English Christian writer Arnold says it's one of the unique cases in history where the conquered their conquerors with ideas. They came with force, but the Muslims had ideas. We don't have ideas or force now. We're like a mosquito. It's just bothering the Western social body. But I'll tell you something. There are people in this country in very high positions of power in which nuclear options are not far-fetched for them. I'm telling you this, the absolute truth. There are people in this government, in the military, there are voices there saying we need to show real force here. This has gotten out of hand, right? They don't need to send in soldiers. And this country has used nuclear weapons twice, and they've used radiation many times. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Sam Harris, in a best-selling book, argues for a preemptive nuclear strike on the Muslims because they're threatening our existence. And this is crazy stuff, but this is somebody who lectures all over and is held up as an intellectual.
Sam Harris as an intellectual. I'm sorry, I had to cut it there.
I'm not familiar enough with Sam Harris to weigh in on him, but he doesn't sound like someone who's particularly intelligent.
He makes Dawkins seem like Nietzsche.
That hurt my soul.
Yes. Sam Harris makes Dawkins seem like Nietzsche. He's that pathetic of a polemic and social commentator. Like he said, I don't like this religion, so we should preemptively nuclear attack an entire society. You know, like that's, like I said, he makes Nietzsche, you know, mental midgets versus, you know, it's everybody. As atheism and secular thought has devolved, so has all thought and theology.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to, right?
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, December 13th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.72 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,244 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,452. Antiwar.com reports in a long-anticipated vote, the Senate finally had their motion to proceed on the Yemen war resolution, with Senator Bernie Sanders introducing the motion at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. The vote passed 60-39. This opens the Senate up to debate and ultimately vote on the resolution calling for an end to U.S. involvement in the Saudi-led war in Yemen. This marks the second vote that the Senate has had this month to advance the resolution. While the vote went largely as expected, Senator Bob Corker was a surprise defector, voting no on the motion. Corker had opposed previous moves to end the Yemen war, but had backed the idea in recent weeks, citing the Saudi murder of Jamal Khashoggi as his turning point. Proceeding to the resolution is no guarantee that it will pass the Senate. There are a number of additional obstacles that could be thrown up, and those voting to proceed may not, in fact, vote for the resolution itself. Even if it passes the Senate, there likely won't be any concurrent resolution in the House until next year, as the House leadership has once again made a last-second rule change in an unrelated bill to block any challenges to the Yemen war. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports insurance claims from the recent spate of California wildfires, including one ranked as the most deadly and destructive in state history, have topped $9 billion and are expected to grow, according to the state insurance commissioner on Wednesday. The claims so far fall short of the record $12 billion in wildfire-related insured losses sustained in California in 2017, most of that from more than a dozen blazes that swept a large swath of wine country north of San Francisco Bay that killed 46 people. This year, the Camp Fire that erupted on November 8th has accounted for the bulk of the claims, just over $7 billion in total. The casualty toll stands as the greatest loss of life from a single wildfire on record in California and the highest from any U.S. wildfire during the past century. The insurance commissioner put preliminary insurance claims from the Woolsey and Hill fires combined at more than $2 billion, bringing the total of all three of last month's blazes to $9.05 billion. The tally reflects losses for residential and commercial coverage, as well as for motor vehicles, agriculture, machinery, and other assets. The numbers released on Wednesday stem from almost 40,000 separate claims, more than a fourth of which represent total losses. Most of those, 10,564, were for personal residential property, but the figure does not include billions of dollars in potential losses faced by Pacific Gas and Electric in the event that the utility's electrical equipment is ultimately found to have caused the Camp Fire. PG&E has said its liability could exceed its insurance coverage if that happens. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Antiwar.com reports progress has been made in the Yemeni peace talks being held in Sweden, and while there is growing doubt that there will be time to finalize every issue, some new deals were finalized on Wednesday. The biggest aspect of this deal will be the reopening of the Sana'a International Airport, albeit only to domestic flights. Under the deal, all international flights to Houthi-held Sana'a have to stop in the Saudi-dominated city of Aden for a security check. This was the deal pro-Saudi factions had before, but with an important difference. They'd wanted the rights to unconditionally search all Sana'a-bound flights, but now the UN will be conducting any security-related searches. Somewhat less important, there has been a deal to resume oil and gas exports from Yemen, which would bring in some badly needed money for the central bank. Yemen is, however, a fairly small exporter even in the best of times, so this isn't exactly going to bring much relief to their failing economy. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the fuck up? Seriously. Just shut the fuck up. I lost back then. Keep going. What the fuck are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Welcome here to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. As always, Crypto Hour is brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. You can check them out on Discord or check their website out at motionproject.org. Go on over there and put your ideas into motion. So let's see here. Oh, big story that everybody's been talking about. Text messaging and taxes. And that's right, in the land of Silicon Valley, California, California, Pinkofornia, whatever you want to call it, they've decided, you know what? It's not enough that parents used to pay per text and ended up with $1,000 phone bills. We should be getting some of them dollar bills, y'all. So we're going to tax those text messages. That's right, tax text messages. We've got, let's see here, this from NBC News, a surcharge to help fund public telecommunications programs like 911 services and subsidized phone rates for low-income Californians. You heard that right. Government subsidy phone text rate. So those Reagan phones that became Bush phones that then were improperly labeled Obama phones.
The Obama phones. Yeah, I knew lots of people in Mississippi. Lots of low-class white people in Mississippi.
Yes,
who love those Obama phones.
250 minutes a month. 2 texts equals a minute.
Is that how it worked?
Yeah. 2 texts equals a minute. You get 250. So you get 500 texts or 250 minutes a month for free. So now, to help pay for that, even though the federal government owns the airspace, so I don't know who they're charging or who's charging them for the use of airspace that they charge other people to use. Right? They want you to pay a tax on your text messages.
I think it's more nuanced than that because the airspace can't just be used. It has to have towers and things like that. But, yeah, I mean, as far as who's ultimately footing the bill, it would be the taxpayers.
Yeah. Sending emojis back and forth could soon cost you in California.
Oh, my freaking God. Are you serious?
Yep. If the state's Public Utility Commission votes to approve taxing text messages next month. California already pays taxes phone services, with the money going to fund public telecommunications programs like the 911 service and subsidized phone rates for low-income Californians. This new proposal from the California Public Utility Commission would expand that public program to programs taxed to text messages, too. Though critics argue the state is flush with cash and shouldn't be tacking on any additional fees.
I thought flush with cash meant broke.
No, that's flushed the cash. No, they're flush with cash means they have lots of it. It's bursting out of their seams.
Well,
they're one of the most taxed states in the. They are the most taxed state in the country. Only. What do you call it? Who is it?
You mean their state taxes are the highest?
Yeah.
Well, it's California, so. I mean, the idea is stupid on its face, right? You tax everybody to pay for something that some people are using. It's public schools all over again. It's every other government welfare program. If you want the service, pay for the service. Just because you want the service doesn't mean you get to rob everyone else and have them pay for it for you. And in fact, if you weren't being robbed yourself, you could pay for these services yourself. And only buy for the things you want.
You have to remember, like, some of these people, they're not getting robbed to pay for the like, they're not minimum wage workers. They're non-workers. They sit at home,
like my dad,
and collect a check, and then they use some of that check to pay for their subsidized phone bill.
Yeah, like,
so they use government money.
Well, see, again.
So they use a government subsidy to pay the remainder of the bill left after a government subsidy.
Yeah, no doubt. and again,
that's taking 2 buckets of water out of the shallow end and pouring them into the deep end, because now you have more water.
Well, except it's worse than that. You're taking the water out of someone else's pool and putting it in your own, and going, "Oh, look at me! I have water in my pool now." But I mean, there's only one way to deal with people like that, and that's to let nature take its toll. I realize that's harsh, and people don't like to hear it, but we're talking. And I've seen these people. I know these people. A lot of liberals say, "Oh, those people don't exist." I know these people. They sit at home. They could work. They don't want to.
Oh, I know them too.
Their own food stamps.
I was married to one.
Yeah, their own food stamps. They're using their government phones. They're milking unemployment way longer than they should be able to. And they're just trying to ride that unemployment until they can retire. I know people like this.
No. My first wife, right, my mother-in-law, she had 2 people who were invalids that lived with her who couldn't really take care of themselves, who were off in the head, so that she could get their checks. One of them, they slept in beds in the hallway in her house. They didn't even have their own rooms. One of them was really, really old, and she got a check, and she got food stamps too.
Well, I knew 2 people who killed an old woman while collecting her disability checks. Locked her in her bedroom until she starved to death. Horrific.
Yeah.
These people exist.
They do exist.
And this isn't to say that people who genuinely need disability
Yours are
won't be
in
able to
Mississippi.
get it.
Yours are in Mississippi. The ones I'm talking about, Michigan.
Yeah.
So it's not a north or south thing either.
No.
They're
No, of
everywhere.
course not. Yeah.
This is an east-west, north-south, east-west, Tennessee, Tennessee, Maine, Texas, California, Oregon, Idaho. These people literally, they exist everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I mean, you don't enable them by offering them more free stuff. You say you're going to get a job or you're going to starve. And, we do have people out there who have genuine disabilities and who
we also have people that are out there that are
can't work.
That are working, but they've destroyed the currency in this country to where it doesn't matter.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Because the money isn't worth anything anyway.
No, well, we just have to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Oh, yeah, that'll fix it.
Everything.
Yeah,
It totally won't raise the price of a burger from McDonald's to $4.50 each,
Oh, yeah, that totally won't do anything to...
A loaf of bread won't suddenly cost $7.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they raised the minimum wage in Florida, right? And now the 99-cent sodas are $2. What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
If that doesn't have any effect, then why did the prices all go up? Why? If the wage doesn't affect the price, why did the price go up?
We know why. Because those business owners have to, recuperate those losses of paying an increased wage.
Well, not only that, but the increased wage means an increased tax.
It does.
So they're not only paying more to their employees, they're paying more to the state. We don't ever talk about that part. Then when we raise those wages, we also raise the taxes on those businesses. Because higher wages means higher taxes.
It's just making everyone poor, ultimately putting everyone on minimum wage. That's the end goal. That's the end result.
You know what? That's equality. We can all stand in the bread line beside each other equally. We'll be back with more right after this.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell, they send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour here on LRN.FM. We're talking about the new text tax. That's right, tax to text. You want to send that cool little emoji or that link to a friend?
Or, use Wire or Signal or Telegram or any of these other apps that, bypass the SMS protocol, which is limited, which sucks because it's limited to 160 characters anyway. So, use something that actually just utilizes a blanket internet connection that allows for encryption and security and things of that nature until the government attempting to tax it when you LOL at somebody to kiss your ass.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some way. You know, Facebook, how they love to bend over for Big Daddy government.
Using Facebook
for anything anyway, right? Yeah.
I am slowly moving off of Facebook to Mastodon, actually, because of their. Yeah. Thank you. Round of applause.
Oh my God.
Because of how they're now banning, sex talk.
Yeah.
They ban libertarian talk. They ban sex talk. Well, that's my entire personality. That's everything I post.
Well, it's
right
there. Yeah.
So Facebook is basically like, we're going to ban Aria.
Right. says here that some people have noted that some service wireless carriers, the ones that bundle services, they already charge the tax that the government wants to start charging. They already charge that tax on texting. The industry filed a petition asking the CPUC to clarify whether text messaging should be included in the bill amount that is subject to the existing surcharges. A spokesman from the commission told NBC News The pending draft proposal recommends that the CPUC include text messaging revenue as part of the total bill amount subject to surcharge. Many wireless carriers bundle services and charge a fixed rate, and those consumers already pay a surcharge on the cost of their texts. For plans structured with separate costs for voice and texting, the surcharge would be new. The current rate is less than 7%.
But wait a minute, because bundling all of your services together is historically cheaper than not.
Yeah.
But they're saying that they're
already paying the tax.
But it's still cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want a higher bill and new taxes, unbundle your services.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Well, see, that's what they're saying is they're like, we already charged this tax. So are you saying like that we're going to need to add another 8% tax on top of the one that we're already charging? Or does the one that we're charging count for what you want and you only want to add it to this new thing? Because we're already charging the tax that you're saying that you want charged. The only people who don't are unbundled services. So do we need to charge two taxes? Or what? What's going on here? And that seems to be what the phone companies are saying. They're like, we already charged them this tax. So what do you want us to do? Charge them a second one? Or do they get credit for the one that they're already paying? It says on the current rate is 7%. So for $20 of texting charges, the tax would cost consumers $1.40 extra on their bill for every $20 of texting. The commission is scheduled to vote on the proposal January the 10th. The proposal is the latest attempt to balance the nation's continued shift towards cellular phones and as states need to keep funding public programs with taxes on consumers who may well not have a landline. Still, some consumers and conservatives have balked. Taxing text isn't just regressive, it's unnecessary. The state is flush with cash. While ordinary Californians are struggling, the idea of increasing taxes on anything right now is absurd, said State Assembly member Marie Waldron, a Republican from north of San Diego. The Telecommunications Cellular Industry Association, a trade organization whose members include companies like AT&T, T-Mobile USA, and Comcast, the parent company of NBC Universal, told NBC News that they oppose the measure as well. We hope that the CPUC recognizes that taxing text messages is bad for consumers. Consumers exchanged 1.77 trillion text messages in 2017. Well, see, there you go. There's the solution to the debt right there. California, they just fixed it. Everything. There you go. They're going to start charging us $1 a text in taxes.
Yeah, that'll be a really good way to make sure that nobody sends text messages.
For real, yeah. To create a black market.
There are already ways of sending what most people would call text messages without utilizing SMS. And that's what they're referring to here as the SMS protocol and the MMS protocols. I mean, there's ways to do that already.
Mm-hmm. Lots of them.
Yeah, we mentioned them a moment ago.
We used to advertise one of them.
We did.
Yes, we did. A very good one, by the way.
But there's still Telegram and Signal and Wire and...
That's right.
Even Discord, none of which utilize SMS or MMS.
Making text messaging is one of the most common effective means of communications for Americans.
And Telegram, at least, can be tied to your phone number. I think Wire can as well. But it's easier to just tell someone your name and be able to receive a text from them than it is about, oh, well, let me give you these 10 digits and... Yeah. It's dumb.
It's beyond dumb. It is California being California. And I mean, this is every major news outlet is covering this. You got to say Today, NBC, CNN, Fox News. They are
when
all
I first saw it, my first thought was, fake news.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke.
But, yeah, evidently it's not. Well, the state never saw an activity that it didn't want to tax, so.
For real, yeah.
I guess that's the joke.
I would say anything that's not nailed down, but texting technically isn't nailed down. Oh, good Lord. Anyway,
well, they will tax the stuff that's nailed down as well.
Yes, they will. They'll tax anything they can tax, regardless of if it being nailed down or not. I mean, they've decided they can tax crypto, and crypto's not
taxable. I mean, if you volunteer, it's a great example of people voluntarily paying their taxes, I suppose.
Well, all right. Well, I gotta. When we get back here, we're gonna get into this. The title. I had to go by the title. Crypto 2018, a tale told by an idiot, but it doesn't have to signify nothing. Exactly. We'll get into it when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you're looking for work, you know the math. There are many more applicants than openings, so you need to stand out, not blend into the blah, blah, blah your interviewer is hearing from your competition. Here's a tip. In your interview, you will be judged more by the questions you ask than the answers you give. Yes, do anticipate the obvious job interview questions and prepare concise, insightful, glass-half-full sounding responses. And you should interview your interviewer. Seem genuinely curious about what will help get results. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. You want to cut through the clutter. For more tips for job seekers and making all the other conversations you have more productive, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Free Talk Live.
It's obvious the government expects people to pay taxes, whether or not they have a law.
They are a band of marauders. They are a violent band of thugs, and in my opinion, don't take kindly to threats. I don't know about you.
Free Talk Live. 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
All right, welcome here to the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour here on LRN.FM. We are, moving right along. I've got this article here that, what are you, are we nerding it up with the anime in the Discord chat just a little too much for you? Are you having a hard time keeping up?
I have not looked at the Discord chat today.
Oh, they've had me talking about anime the whole show, basically. They're like, oh, this is good, and blah, blah, blah. Like, no.
Inuyasha is the only anime I watch.
We have that.
As do I.
The whole series.
All
on
167 episodes plus the final act.
Yeah, all on DVD.
Well,
my wife bought
it
while my wife bought it in Malaysia. We have all of Ranma half.
Again, Inuyasha is the only one I watch.
All of Inuyasha. All, including like the OVAs. Let's see here. All the Miyazaki films except for the 3 newest ones. Yeah. She bought all that when she lived in Malaysia.
My ex-wife watched a lot of obscure anime. She made me watch it with her, so I guess I have seen other anime like Excel Saga and things like that. She also read manga like Absolute Boyfriend, Hot Gimmick, and things like that. Not all of it was terrible, but Excel Saga was made by Satan.
Yeah.
It is the worst thing ever.
Huh. Are we offline? Maybe
Yeah, it does look like it.
Huh?
It's blinking back and forth between yellow and red, so it does seem that way. It should just be solid red.
Yeah, it should. Oh, hold on.
That often points to a bandwidth issue.
Well, chit chat for a second while I grab in.
I wouldn't think there's actually a bandwidth issue here in the studio, but something is certainly going on. We may or may not be broadcasting at all. I'm not entirely sure. But Will told me to ramble on, so I'm going to ramble on. Regarding Excel Saga, I suppose, I don't have any idea what the story was about. Not anymore, because it was terrible and I didn't pay any more attention to it than I absolutely had to keep my wife from jumping on me. But this bitch screeched constantly, and that was all she did. Everything she said was said at like 120 decibels and a pitch of 8,000 kilohertz. It was the loudest, most obnoxious, most high-pitched thing I've ever heard in my life. And it was not pleasant, and it was severely detracted from whatever story they were attempting to tell, which had something to do with this annoying chick being some mercenary or something for some dude. I don't know. It was not fun to watch.
Which movie was this?
This was a series called Excel Saga.
Oh yes, Excel Saga.
Okay, you're familiar with it.
I'm familiar. I'm a nerd, yo. Like
it's absolutely.
I like
wretched.
Star Wars and I like Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like
I like The Next Generation. I like Voyager. I don't know if I would go as far as saying I like Star Trek, but
I
do
like Voyager. I like Deep Space Nine.
It is other Next Generation characters I actually liked, but it
wasn't he like a 50-year-old character playing a 70-year-old character who will now be an 80-year-old person playing Jesus Christ? How old will Picard be in the show?
Oh well, no, it's not going to be a show. You're talking about the mashup with original series, Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine characters and all of that.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, but it's a comic book.
I thought there was a new
series.
TV, then they were like, okay, so the new isn't doing so well, so we're going to do another new one, and we're bringing Picard back.
Not that I've heard.
Huh.
But I don't keep my ear to the ground on much, so.
No, I'm telling you. Let me see here. Picard coming back. Yes, exactly. Picard coming back. Patrick Stewart returning as Captain Picard in new Star Trek series. This was announced August of this year. Sir Patrick Stewart will reprise the role of Captain Jean-Luc Picard in a brand new Star Trek series on CBS's All Access, Variety has learned. It will take place after the events of Star Trek The Next Generation, rather than being a prequel or... Thank God! Finally! It's not Picard that's the problem. It's the fact that we keep going further and further back in history, and somehow all of the technology looks better than it did. They're like, this is 100 years before the Enterprise. It's like, wow, why does everything look so much more sophisticated than the cardboard sets that they had on the,
Well, I really liked where the Star Trek MMO took the universe's storyline with the Klingon and Federation alliance falling out and them devolving into war, while the Romulans were also there, I guess.
Where is this? Is this on video? Did they make a series?
It's a game.
Oh,
Star
okay.
Trek, the MMO.
Oh.
It's like World of Warcraft, but with Star Trek.
Yeah, I have one on. There's one on Xbox 360.
Yeah, but the one on Xbox was based on the movie, I think.
No, it's got what's his name?
Well, see, this is you make your own characters.
Yeah, you make your own character, but it's got the what's his name? Geordi. Thank you. Yeah, it's got Geordi on like the cover. Like an old Geordi in a blue uniform. Which doesn't make any sense because if you follow canon, Geordi doesn't wear the visor anymore by the time he gets to that position. Right. So, yeah, that's right. I'm nerding out and pointing out that the video games are getting it wrong.
Well, that video
I'm sorry.
game might have,
if you are making video games, you need to be a nerd enough that you know that Geordi shouldn't have a visor on by the time he's wearing that blue uniform.
And I would agree. But when it comes time for them to make a new movie or new television show, they throw out whatever canon the video games have established. They just totally erase it. Say, oh, none of that counted. Like they did with Dash Rendar and the new Star Wars movies, or anything added to the Star Wars canon. And they're likely to do the same thing with the new Star Trek. Okay, everything that these video games did, all of these intricate storylines, they no longer count.
Yeah.
They didn't happen. That was all pretend.
Oh, I wonder what they're going to do with the Star Killer storyline. Is that just gone now?
Was that ever incorporated into the movies?
I don't. Well,
obviously it wasn't incorporated into 1 to 6.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they should make a Star Killer movie.
It was a good storyline.
It was an amazing storyline. I loved it. I played the game.
I played the second one. I didn't play the first one.
I played them both.
That's the Force Unleashed, right?
Yes.
That was the name of it, yeah.
And you know what? I played them because of the storyline.
Really?
I played the gameplay wasn't that great.
A lot of awesome Jedi abilities.
It looked really cool. It looked a lot cooler than it turned out to be when I played it.
Yeah, it was kind of like playing a Lego game, really.
Yes.
Just destroy everything in sight.
Yeah.
Move to the next area, destroy everything in sight.
Well, that and the different powers, I wasn't really impressed that much with it. But I did play it all the way through as a Jedi and all the way through as a Sith. Sith first, of course.
Naturally.
I
mean, you're freaking named Star Killer. So.
Yes! Oh my God. So anyway, when we get back, God, who knows what the hell we'll be talking about when we get back here. We started out on supposed to be talking about crypto and like somehow we ended up on Star Trek and the video games. Who knows? You never know what the hell we'll be talking about when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you can go this way? You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Wind, water, hot, go planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
All right. Welcome back into the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studio. Crypto Hour always brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. That's right. We playing the Captain Planet remix. Get it.
I'm curious what relevance this has to whatever we're about to discuss.
Nothing whatsoever, okay, but the Discord
perfect.
chatters were like, I love this Captain Planet. Because we were talking about like old cartoons and stuff like that. They were like, I miss Captain Planet. And I'm like, yeah, I can find a remix of that, I'm sure. So, yeah, you know how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
So, we do actually have a crypto-related thing to talk about here. I thought the title was pretty funny. Crypto 2018 was a tale told by an idiot, but it doesn't have to signify nothing. I'm completely out of crypto, and I've been selling my Bitcoin and Ether all year. Does that disgust you? disappoint you? If you just met me, I'm guessing that would be your first question. When did you buy? Unfortunately, in crypto, the price when you entered appears to have some bearing on how much you know about blockchain. However, I'd start by asking another question. When did it become doctrine to hodl and sacrilege to sell? Where does the peer pressure emanate from? At the end of 2018, you can proclaim from the housetops that you will hodl to the end of time, and you'll be applauded, venerated as a sage, even if you're lying. But if you're going to sell, you need to slink quietly out the back door. You've broken the unwritten rules of the cult of blockchain. My hope is that 2019 will begin to question the norms we're holding on to and that are holding us back.
Well, I can tell him why HODL became the norm. It's a propaganda scheme in order to convince people to drive up the value of Bitcoin by lowering its supply by decreasing the number of people willing to sell it. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if everybody is hodling, then nobody is selling. The demand still exists. So what happens to the price? It goes up. Selling it, defeats that purpose. So they look at you like you're the devil because in some small, imperceptible way, you're causing them to lose money.
Well, as we enter 2019, my belief is that crypto will need a lesson in strategic execution. Like it or not, there are others like me. My initial aim was to use crypto for everything in life, replacing all fiat. A hope that was almost immediately dashed when I entered the market at around $3,000 last year. There's your answer to the above question, by the way. The promised land appears no closer than it did back in January.
Because he's not in New Hampshire.
Exactly. As a store of value, I just don't find cryptocurrency useful. It certainly hasn't.
It had exactly the same value or a higher value when he sold it than it did when it bought it. What is he talking about? It stored its value, clearly. Because we're still above the $3,000 mark. Barely.
Right.
But we are still above it.
As a store of value, I don't find cryptocurrency useful. It certainly hasn't stored much value for me this year. Others likely feel the same. But
it stored exactly the value he put into it, and then some.
But for most people who bought into crypto when crypto was going crazy, it has dropped by 70%. So it hasn't held its value. Others, too, like me, took the leap as entrepreneurs. A finance MBA with a track record in venture capital and strategic consulting, I left my job as an executive at SaaS technology companies to start a blockchain venture. All year I've been hearing that 2018 is the year that institutions are going to get involved and real players, or at least traditional players, are going to start to adopt the technology. Well, some of us came. What did we find? Hype, hyperbole, dogma, a cult that made little sense, not much value, few actual results. If I hear one more investor tell me that I need to pay them and they will coach me and then introduce me to their Chinese friends, I'm going to lose my mind. Yes, it happened all the time this year. This year I've been told...
Weird. It's never happened to me. But I sold.
Right. This year I've been told, give me $1 million up front so I can raise you $10 million. No guarantees. Give me $500,000 up front and I'll introduce you to my wealthy friends. No guarantees. Pay me $100,000 a month to be an advisor for you. You will get me in as an advisor. Pay me $20,000 a month and I'll coach you weekly. We will get on a conference call with my other ICO from someone who has never built anything. We're an industry that's trying to change everything. What we need is a constant change until we usher this technology into the world and deliver on the hype, which is significant. The blockchain industry is both culturally inspiring, and culturally broken. There's so much good. It's open, it's inclusive, it's revolutionary, it's empowering, but it's also shady, dishonest, mercurial, and often straight out illegal. That said,
none of that is true of blockchain technology. I would point out.
Some things that you do in blockchain technology are, though.
Sure, but something you do in your car is illegal.
Very true.
That doesn't make cars problematic.
That's very true. That said, it may take use a decade to unpack all that happened in 2018 completely. To get some distance, perspective, Bitcoin's price will likely end up 5 times lower than when it started out, up to 3 to 4 times since January, but up 3 or 4 times since January 2017. The problem is the loudest and most visible parts of the industry have been much too focused on speculating on raising coins quickly, flipping, making a quick buck, and that dragged the rest of the industry into asking bad questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's not common. It's something that we've criticized here on the show extensively, is that it has become about making money and not any sort of ideological goal, like crushing the existent financial system that destroyed us, my generation in particular. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are great for that, but they're not being used for that because instead people see dollar signs in their eyes, as I'm doing right now, in fact, by selling when it was high and waiting until it's at $500 to rebuy. I certainly agree that it's a problem. It's not a good mentality, but when you're dealing with people who have been broken by the current financial system, it's not just an ideological matter to them. It's important to them that they actually be able to make money, to have some sort of light at the end of the tunnel that the current financial system denies them. And when that light turns out to be illusory, as it did in 2018 for very many people, you're going to have serious problems.
Mm. Well, we do have a caller on the line with us. We've got Devin calling from Idaho. He's listening on the LRN website, and he has a question about cryptocurrency. What do you think, Devin? Why do you think it? Hold on one second. There we go, Devin. Sorry.
That's okay. How are y'all doing today?
We're good. We're good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What kind of what do you guys got for a setup in there? What kind of mics y'all using?
I would have
it's
to
an
ask.
RE27.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What about a lot of the computers? The laptop using a Mac, using a PC?
I have no idea.
PC.
They're
PCs.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big setup, full station setup inside.
Very cool.
Yeah. They have a much bigger show than ours that comes on after us. That's on about 180 radio stations around the country. So, and that's where we're broadcasting from, is from their self-built studio that they broadcast that show from. So, what's your question today,
cool.
Devin?
What about the keyboards? What's the brand of keyboard there?
iRox.
iRox?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What kind of T-shirt? What's the brand of shirt you got on there?
These are really weird questions.
For real,
yeah. Did you have some
Anyway.
related to cryptocurrency that you wanted to ask?
Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter if he's got anything related to cryptocurrency that he wants to ask, because we've got 7 seconds before we got to go to commercial. So we'll be back with more of the Call to Freedom right after this.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, December 13th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.72 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,244 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,452. Antiwar.com reports in a long-anticipated vote, the Senate finally had their motion to proceed on the Yemen war resolution, with Senator Bernie Sanders introducing the motion at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. The vote passed 60-39. This opens the Senate up to debate and ultimately vote on the resolution calling for an end to U.S. involvement in the Saudi-led war in Yemen. This marks the second vote that the Senate has had this month to advance the resolution. While the vote went largely as expected, Senator Bob Corker was a surprise defector, voting no on the motion. Corker had opposed previous moves to end the Yemen war, but had backed the idea in recent weeks, citing the Saudi murder of Jamal Khashoggi as his turning point. Proceeding to the resolution is no guarantee that it will pass the Senate. There are a number of additional obstacles that could be thrown up, and those voting to proceed may not, in fact, vote for the resolution itself. Even if it passes the Senate, there likely won't be any concurrent resolution in the House until next year, as the House leadership has once again made a last-second rule change in an unrelated bill to block any challenges to the Yemen war. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports insurance claims from the recent spate of California wildfires, including one ranked as the most deadly and destructive in state history, have topped $9 billion and are expected to grow, according to the state insurance commissioner on Wednesday. The claims so far fall short of the record $12 billion in wildfire-related insured losses sustained in California in 2017, most of that from more than a dozen blazes that swept a large swath of wine country north of San Francisco Bay that killed 46 people. This year, the Camp Fire that erupted on November 8th has accounted for the bulk of the claims, just over $7 billion in total. The casualty toll stands as the greatest loss of life from a single wildfire on record in California and the highest from any U.S. wildfire during the past century. The insurance commissioner put preliminary insurance claims from the Woolsey and Hill fires combined at more than $2 billion, bringing the total of all three of last month's blazes to $9.05 billion. The tally reflects losses for residential and commercial coverage, as well as for motor vehicles, agriculture, machinery, and other assets. The numbers released on Wednesday stem from almost 40,000 separate claims, more than a fourth of which represent total losses. Most of those, 10,564, were for personal residential property, but the figure does not include billions of dollars in potential losses faced by Pacific Gas and Electric in the event that the utility's electrical equipment is ultimately found to have caused the Camp Fire. PG&E has said its liability could exceed its insurance coverage if that happens. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Antiwar.com reports progress has been made in the Yemeni peace talks being held in Sweden, and while there is growing doubt that there will be time to finalize every issue, some new deals were finalized on Wednesday. The biggest aspect of this deal will be the reopening of the Sana'a International Airport, albeit only to domestic flights. Under the deal, all international flights to Houthi-held Sana'a have to stop in the Saudi-dominated city of Aden for a security check. This was the deal pro-Saudi factions had before, but with an important difference. They'd wanted the rights to unconditionally search all Sana'a-bound flights, but now the UN will be conducting any security-related searches. Somewhat less important, there has been a deal to resume oil and gas exports from Yemen, which would bring in some badly needed money for the central bank. Yemen is, however, a fairly small exporter even in the best of times, so this isn't exactly going to bring much relief to their failing economy. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Saying that he has no idea what to make of the mixed signals, area man Pete Summers told reporters today he keeps getting ambiguous text messages from local woman Haley Mueller, claiming that she's not at all interested in him.
One minute she's like, I don't want to go out with you. And then she'll mention how she has to go hang out with her boyfriend. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that?
Summers, who first met Mueller at a friend's party last month, informed reporters that the 27-year-old's increasingly perplexing text messages have left him unable to ascertain whether or not she would want to date him. He also noted that Mueller's behavior at social gatherings was equally vague.
Last weekend, we were at a party, and every time I would go up to her, she just said, "Leave me alone." Then I text her the next day, and she totally doesn't even respond. I mean, she just needs to make up her mind and tell me what she wants. She hasn't answered my last 3 phone calls, so maybe I should go over there and make sure everything's okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back to the third hour of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. That was way more low-key than it was supposed to be. It literally started in the middle instead of at the beginning like it's supposed to.
Well, it's a nice guitar lick.
It is. It's supposed to be like some Japanese thing or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I can't find any good Star Trek remixes. So,
Really?
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, so we've got... we were going to cover this story earlier this week. But instead we ended up, I guess we're going to cover it today.
I think that was the day we were like, we're not doing the show today.
No, I think we put it in, like it was in the show prep and we were going to do it. And then we never actually got to that story is what happened. So anyway, the story,
yeah.
This is,
so.
Yeah. Okay. So we, how do you start this? So that guy who ran that fat girl over at the anti-racist, remember those stupid idiots with the tiki torches? Let me start that again. You remember those morons with the tiki torches? They were like, "Hey, we're gonna chase off the mosquitoes," you know. Well, like the day after that stupid nonsense, one of those morons ran over some chick. Like
some other moron.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being realistic.
Let's just be honest. He pulled a pissed off French Muslim. He got in his car and drove it through a crowd of people. And
well, all we need is common sense car control.
For real, idiots. Just a little common sense car control, But Chris Cantwell, he heard about the conviction, and well, he just
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
he flipped out. He couldn't handle it. It was more than he could take.
And it removed any doubt I had whatsoever that Chris Cantwell is currently an agent of the federal government.
Okay.
I am now absolutely convinced of that.
Well,
he may not have been before, but after his arrest in North Carolina, he absolutely is.
It's all over the news. You got Rolling Stone has covered it. This commentary coming from the Washington Post. It's in a couple of other places as well. The Rolling Stone article was really just really short and not worth my time. So, I mean, I read it. It was that short. But the title here from the Washington Post, Crying Nazi vows destruction of the left after Charlottesville killer's murder conviction. When Christopher Cantwell learned that self-professed neo-Nazi James Alex Fields Jr. had been convicted of murder, he promised violent retribution, complete and total destruction by an army of fanatics ready to die for their cause.
Gosh, that sounds so familiar. Where have I heard that before? I think they had a black flag with some Arabic writing on it in white, and I think they were shouting nonsense and over there in somewhere called Syria.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, but as like everything that Cantwell has done since August of 2017, his vow was at least somewhat blunted by his dramatic fall and humiliating nickname, the Crying Nazi. Cantwell, who earned the nickname for his reaction to news of a warrant for his arrest, made the threats Friday, the same day Fields was found guilty of first-degree murder for ramming his car through a crowd of counter-protesters at the Unite the Right rally last year in Charlottesville. Heather Hires, 32, and was killed, and 35 others were injured, many grievously. As the Washington Post's Joe Heim and Christine Phillips reported.
The irony is that, one gunshot would have kept 35 people from being injured.
Yeah, but those protesters are the kind of people that don't like guns.
Oh, I know. That's why it's irony.
Oh, it's irony, yeah. So
he's driving at us in a car. What do we do? Here's a flower.
As
shoot him.
It says, blah, 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 blah. The killing culminated in a dark 24 hours in this quiet college town. Cantwell was mostly in the middle of it. A photographer for the Post captured him sitting on a curb, being tended to by police after being hit with tear gas. 1 year later, with Fields' trial now over, Cantwell went on the social media platform Gab, known for its far-right user base, and aimed his words at Charlottesville and the broad left. Fields' conviction will drive us toward your complete and total destruction, he said, claiming that there are more than enough people to put in the massive amount of unpleasant work. The next Dylan Roof, the next Robert Bowers, he's not going to go out. He's not going to go out blasting and be out of the fight, Cantwell wrote. Cantwell has made similarly ominous threats before, as the Post's Avi Selk wrote in August. Cantwell was the thick-armed embodiment of white nationalism to tens of millions of people and the star of the Vice News and HBO documentary about the rallies, which has been seen more than 30 million times.
I think tens of millions of followers is probably a bit of a stretch by a couple of zeros. I just don't think he's that big of a deal.
Cantwell even weighed in on the violence that came to epitomize the rally, saying the fatal car attack was justified because the protesters had been stupid animals. But then came his fall. A video shot in his hotel room shortly after the rally shows Cantwell learning that there's a warrant out for his arrest over the use of illegal gas and injury by a caustic agent or explosive. He appears to be on the verge of tears. I've been told there's a warrant for my arrest, Cantwell pleads to the camera through sniffles and a trembling voice. I don't know what to do. I mean, you've been to jail before, Chris. You know, what do you mean you don't know what to do? The dismantling of his persona wasn't over. A short time later, his OkCupid profile was leaked online, describing him as a single, 6 foot tall, interested in marriage and children. Ideally, I'd like to talk on here briefly, move quickly to the phone, and then we can go out on a date and see what happens. Beneath what appears to be a gym mirror selfie of Cantwell. If that happens, it will be without the help of OkCupid. 10 minutes after the company learned that he was a user on their site, they banned him for life. Jeez. There's no room for hate in a place where you're looking for love, says the company at the time. Cantwell entered a plea on the charges this summer. According to the Charlottesville NBC affiliate WVIR, he was given credit for the 107 days that he spent in jail and told not to come back to Virginia for 5 years. So that's what the Washington Post has to say about Cantwell.
I mean, all said and done, that's a pretty lenient sentence, and I don't think it's really a concern, except it points to, violent tendencies that he may or may not have. But I think that the federal government would absolutely be watching him at this point. And to say things like that, vowing the complete and utter destruction, talking about essentially attempting to recruit for ISIS, an American ISIS, he'd be arrested already if he was not a Fed.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he was brown and his name was Abdullah and he'd said something like that on Twitter in favor of Al-Qaeda or ISIS, he'd get 11 years in prison because we've literally seen that happen to a teenager in this country. So anyway, we'll be back with more. It looks like we've got a caller calling. We'll be back right after this.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Buddy, you're doing fine.
Patrick.
Welcome back into the Call of Freedom here on LRN.FM. I just got really bad news. Sorry about that. Well, there's one of the original members of the Muslim community here and had went to Pakistan to visit. We referred to him as Ali Bhai. He passed away today.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was an elderly man. I had literally just asked about him a couple days ago. He was in Pakistan visiting. And sadly, he passed away. So, anyway.
Have you seen this press release from the Department of Homeland Security?
Is it new?
Yes.
No.
From December the 12th, yesterday?
No.
Check this out. We are building the first new border wall in a decade. DHS is committed to building wall and building wall quickly. We are not replacing short, outdated, and ineffective wall with similar wall. Instead, under this president, we are building a wall that is 30 feet high. Fact, prior to President Trump taking office, we have never built wall that high. That's the press release. They build wall and build wall quickly.
We build wall. we build
Oog like wall. But anyway,
Trump like wall.
We have a caller on the line.
Trump fan like wall.
Trump build wall good. It's just, wow.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so we do have a caller on the line. We've got Rev listening from Florida. What's up, Rev? What do you think, and why do you think it?
Hi. So, wow, it's kind of rare that I actually laugh a little bit. Your little show is actually funny and does amuse me, so that's pretty good. Regarding the cryptocurrency, I think we owe it to ourselves to at least kind of give it a chance. You know, if we want to get away from decentralization and so forth, I don't think we should be so, not to say us in particular, but, you know, people in general, they have to understand it's like any investment. It has its ups and downs. It has its unique properties, but whatever. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would certainly agree. I think that looking at Bitcoin's value or any cryptocurrency's value in the short term, I mean, it really depends on where you zoom in. Because you can zoom into a period from 2016 and say, oh, look, it gained 300% over, 1.5 months. Or you can zoom in on a period in 2018 and say, oh, look, it lost 33% over a period of 3 days. So that kind of thinking is short-sighted. I mean, really, we can go back to the beginning of Bitcoin, and we would need to really assess its value and its trends and say, okay, well, it began at literally $0, 0 cents in value, and now it's worth $3,000 in value. Sure, it's been higher than that. It's also been lower than that.
Yes, ma'am. That's true.
Yeah, so I think in the long term, people are just, being short-sighted, and we have to expect that of people. But people are short-sighted, especially when it comes to their money. And I don't think that we're going to be able to appeal to them when Bitcoin is sitting at $3,000 from its high of $18,000.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so then moving on to, and again, I'm doing my best not to curse. You guys are actually helping calm me down, like I told you in the little break. Like, I had a very bad incident earlier, and you're helping calm me, so thank you for that. Anyway,
we're here to serve.
Regarding our Lord and Savior, a guy that I'm a big fan of personally, Mr. Chris Cantwell. Listen, I appreciate that you guys are not doing a total hit piece on the guy. I know you both have had personal interaction with him, especially you, Aria, which is how I found out about your show.
He and I used to run a couple Facebook pages together like 2 years before he slipped off his nut.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, Will. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So Will's had personal.
Yeah, we used to run
experience.
a police accountability Facebook page together, like back in 2013.
That actually is pretty interesting, and I did do a bit of research on that. I think I need to do more. All I'm going to say, look, with Cantwell, he's clearly not a perfect man, but listen, first of all, if you guys were up against, literally, and again, I'm going to be very careful with my language, but short of being a pedophile, to be pro-white and to be a white person and have that message is literally right next to that. It's right next to pedophilia. It's right next to cannibalism regarding the absolute. And again, feel free to interject, people. It's your show.
I mean, sure. And I've mentioned that before, that there are two things that are universally condemned and that are just widely viewed as absolutely unacceptable. And those two things are pedophilia and white supremacy.
Yes.
Well, no. Even Aria, not even white supremacy, because
whiteness is
to some sections of the left, sure. I don't think that it's as prominent as a message as the leftists who propagate that message would like to think. I think that they're a much smaller minority than they really care to admit. But as it goes, the person saying the most controversial thing is the one who gets the attention. That's why Trump is president now. That's why Chris Cantwell is being covered in the Rolling Stone magazine, and we're sitting here broadcasting from our own studio.
Right, but what I'm saying, imagine though, and again, it's not like, look, as a trans woman and as a Muslim redneck, I mean, as two Southern people who clearly live outside of the normal, binary of what is considered Southern culture. I don't need to preach to you, and even me in my own way, whatever. Okay, so it's, but imagine having a fight that hard, like something that seems like a joke, right? Because so many of us are white. There's no threat of anything. Don't worry. And then it's like, oh, look, decade by decade, declining birth rates. Oh, look, decade by decade, more anti-white sentiments, even in the workplace, So all I'm saying with Chris is listen, I appreciate, like I said, you guys are just reading the article. You're not doing a total hit piece on the guy. I appreciate that. I don't think he'd care. I've prevented cursing. I don't think he'd care either way. But let me tell you this, too.
Well, I mean, no, he would expect it because, I mean, it makes good radio.
Yeah, and thanks to that Vice documentary, guys, that's how me and tons of people who were super anti-racist even a year ago were like, wow, if they're going to hate us for being white, then okay, maybe whatever. I mean, that's, kind of an oversimplification.
And I get that. And that's what largely created the alt-right, but it's the wrong solution to the problem. You don't counter racism with more racism. You embrace individualism and erase the collectivism that leads to the racism. That's how you address that. Otherwise, you're pouring fire on fire, going, why isn't this fire going out?
But if my fire is stronger than your fire and subverts and destroys your fire, as much as I may not want to use pyrotechnics to begin with, I would, win. But look, here's the only other thing I'll say.
We'll have to get back to this when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
After years of weekly meetings with his psychologist, local man Chris Vaughn told reporters today he was excited to only have 2 sessions left before completely resolving all of his emotional issues and never having the need to return to another therapy session again.
When I started therapy, I knew if I could make it through exactly 120 50-minute sessions with Dr. Warner, then all of my issues with depression and crippling anxiety would be gone. Next week we're covering my parents. The week after that we're wrapping up my trust issues, and then I should be good to go.
According to Vaughn, it took 40 sessions alone to fully resolve his feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem resulting from an unhappy childhood. Vaughn's therapist, Dr. Susan Warner, told Onion reporters that she's pleased with her patient's progress and relieved that his long-time emotional and cognitive issues are nearly solved for good.
I told him that getting healthy would take at least 100 hours of therapy, and now he'll never have to see me again. Thank God for that. That guy was a real piece of work.
This is the Onion News Network.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studios in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. Another chilly night here. Temperatures dropping down to the single digits here in New England. And well, we are on the phone. It turns out now Cantwell lives about a mile from the mosque that I run here in Keene. Probably about a mile from right here, this very radio station we're in right now, right? Yeah, about a mile and a half away from the very seat that I sit in right here. I don't particularly feel worried about, Cantwell's revenge.
Cantwell isn't the problem. Before I get on to what I actually want to address with what the caller and I were discussing, Cantwell himself isn't the problem. It's the nutcases that he will recruit who are the problem. I mean, just like Osama bin Laden, in theory, if we're going with the story propagated by the states, Osama bin Laden wasn't really the problem. He didn't, as far as I'm aware, he didn't really kill anyone, He just recruited the nutcases who did and inspired them to go out and commit those heinous acts. And I think that's probably the role Cantwell is intentionally serving for the Fed, to identify these homegrown white supremacist terrorists, so that they can be picked up and collected by the Fed, by the federal government. But getting to what we were talking about before the break, my question to Rev and Cantwell and to the alt-right in general is whether they want to destroy their enemy or coexist with their enemy. Because peace can certainly be achieved through the absolute destruction of one's enemy. But I would argue that the cost of that peaceful homogeneity is too high, and probably impossible, as we see from Hitler himself and the demonization of non-blondes. Division over differences can't lead to unity. I mean, if Hitler had even succeeded in wiping out all of the Jews, that would not have been an end to Hitler's purges. He would have just turned it on brunette white people, and then redheaded white people, and then people with freckles, and then people who weren't tall enough, and then people who were too fat, and so on until you're ultimately left with nothing, because that's how division works. You start with these divisions over obvious differences, skin color and things like that, religion, things that are obvious and easy to spot. But if you eliminate those entirely, you're not getting rid of the divisive mentality, the hatred you have for people who are different. You've cultivated it. You've taken it to new heights. So you just spot new, smaller ways that they're different. That guy has different eye colors. He needs to die. That person's too fat. They need to die. So even if the alt-right was successful in wiping out the left, whoever that, and that obviously includes LGBT people, whether we're actually on the left or not,
Unfortunately.
we would certainly be thrown into the gas chambers as well, and so would you.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone in this room. But
pretty much.
Even if they were successful, that wouldn't be the end to it, because they would just find some new difference with which to rally people to destroy one another.
Well, we do have a caller on the line that we've been talking to about this quote unquote, the Cantwell's revenge. Like I said, I'm not, for me, it's like the sky is falling. The sky is falling. To me, it's henny penny. That's what the media is today. Like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Trump is leading us all into the gas chambers, and even if we don't have any gas, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all fear and henny penny. And the sky is falling, and if you're not afraid, then you should be. And I'm not. You know, like I'm just not. I'm more afraid of the federal government than I am of like a white supremacist takeover. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, the white supremacist takeover is the Muslim Brotherhood of the left. Because the whole time Obama was in office, it was, oh my God, this failed political party that couldn't take over their own country halfway across the world after 100 years, 2 bloody revolutions, and winning a popular election is going to overtake the American people and the American government using less than 1% of the population. It's going to happen. You know, like, to me, it's the same thing. You know, like the white supremacists are going to take over the country. No, they're not. I'm sorry. Well, Trump is a paper tyrant, more than Obama.
Taking over the country is really the threat. I think the threat is just terrorism, plain and simple. And I mean, I'm not scared of that either. I'm armed. Bring it, dude.
Funny enough, there were terror attacks to validate those fears when those fears were the fears that were being pushed. But if you noticed, you don't really see very many terror attacks in the U.S. out of Muslims. All of a sudden, like suddenly it's all white supremacists, all right wing, all gun nuts, all the political. It's all American political. Like the last 5 terror attacks have been American political attacks. Suddenly you don't see the Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS, Al Qaeda. Like, where'd they all go? Did Trump dismantle the Let's Spy on the Mosques and create fake terror attacks program that Obama instilled? I mean, is that what happened?
Well, no.
Well, then where the hell did all the Muslim terrorists go?
Well, there weren't any in the first place.
Well, but they were on the news every other day in Boston, San Bernardino, Fort Bragg or whatever, Fort whatever in Texas. You know, like once a year you had some great big thing, and now it's the same thing, but once a year it's a great big thing, but it's like the guy that shot up the black church, or the guy at the Cantwell at the rally. You know, it's something like that. Now it's that kind of a thing. So where did all the Muslim ones that were happening all through Obama's administration? Why did they suddenly? It's almost like the public's not even paying attention. I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist here, but it seems kind of odd to me that when everybody was like, Obama's going to make terrorism happen, Obama, no, everybody be scared of the Muslims, be scared of the Muslims, be scared of the Muslims. That was what you were seeing. And now be scared of the white folks, be scared of the white folks, be scared of the white folks. And now that's all that you see.
Have there been terrorism attacks in the United States in the last 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
There have.
Well, I mean,
Muslim terrorism?
No.
That was my question.
That's what I'm saying. Is when Obama was in office, they were everywhere.
But I mean, is it that the media isn't covering them, or is it that the attacks aren't happening?
They're not happening.
That's my question.
They're not happening. And there aren't any of these ones where it's like...
but do we know that, or is it just because the media isn't covering them that we assume they're not happening?
We're not even seeing it on local media. And also, when Obama was in office, it was so we got a 20-year-old Somali kid who was going to bomb the tree lighting in Oregon. Well, he wasn't...
Well, see, that's exactly it. You hit the nail on the head right there, is that we had the FBI create false flagging, essentially, creating these homegrown terrorists. And that is why Cantwell is the Fed. He is doing exactly what the FBI was doing under Obama, except the Obama administration did it with Muslim terrorism, and now we have Cantwell doing exactly the same things.
What do you think of that argument, Rev? What do you think of that argument, Rev?
Oh, hi, yes. Wow, that's a real multiplicity of points, a real plethora here. I've got to be concise.
Just that Cantwell, because Cantwell's advocating violence vis-a-vis Cantwell's a Fed.
No, see, here's the problem with that, though. That's a false dichotomy. So first of all, listen, okay, Cantwell has been a Fed, yeah, but he's been open about that. He's been a Fed against, and again, I'll watch my language, against the a-holes of the other side, and Antifa and the communists and all these other Marxist garbage pieces there that want to destroy the society. So he was completely forthright and open about that, and he tells you on his show, really quickly, guys, if you send him death threats or if you admit to crime, he's going to have to forward them to law enforcement, because more than anybody, he's been scrutinized by them more than any being imaginable. So
and
really
yet
quickly,
he is getting away with advocating terrorism openly.
No. See, Aria, if you listen to his show...
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Horizon.global studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's the final segment of the show, which we usually would devote strictly to cannabis, but we do have a caller on the air. We've been talking about Cantwell's Revenge. That's right. Everybody knows him as the Crying Nazi from the Vice and HBO documentary about the Charlottesville protest, the tiki torch thing. That thing. And, well, basically, he has vowed revenge against the left broadly and Charlottesville specifically for the conviction of this cat who ran this girl and like 40 other people over. Yes, I wish I could have done that in high school. I probably would have been more popular.
For those who weren't watching, Will threw a bag into the trash.
Yep. That's right.
Pro skills.
That's right. So we've got Rev on from Florida, who's actually a fan of Cantwell's, who we've been talking about Cantwell's. I'm sorry. To me, like, I don't want to mock him and him show up on my front doorstep with a shotgun one day, but I just like...
Well, I don't think there's any real threat of that.
Exactly.
I mean, what we say about... I'm sure Cantwell says, equally bad things about us.
The loonies who follow him, I am much more worried about. I even said that to the newspaper one day. They were like, Cantwell's in jail. When Cantwell was in jail, they're like, Cantwell's in jail. Are you afraid of him? And I'm like, no, I would never be afraid of Chris. I've known Chris. I would never be afraid of him personally. It's the wackadoos that he has a tendency to attract that I worry about, because not all of them are Rev. Rev is a reasonable human being you can have a conversation with. But, my mother was married to a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. I know what crazy psychotic racism looks like, and it's not pretty, and it has a tendency to be scary and particularly violent. So I know what that can attract, because I've been around those kind of people in my life before, and those people worry me. But Chris, no, not particularly. It just doesn't. Like I know that, like, in post-Trump America, that I'm Muslim and therefore I should be terrified of walking out of my house every day, but I'm just not. Sorry NBC, sorry Sarsauer, sorry MSDNC. I'm just not. I'm not scared. And all of your beating the drum, sorry Rolling Stone, all of you telling me that I should be terrified is just, it's not going to do it. I'm sorry. Anyway, but back to you, Rev. What else did you have to say on the issue?
Well, thank you again. I got to be quick. I got to be concise. There are only like 9 minutes left or whatever. Thank you, guys. And Will, props to you for not playing the victim card, as, again, the left and right do this to some extent, but especially the left, okay? So really quickly, Aria, what you were saying earlier about Hitler, I am not a big fan of Hitler, okay? I think he was kind of an a-hole overall, but I also think, given the circumstances with Bolshevikism and how much of an a-hole Joseph Stalin and all of them were, and how we never hear about the Holodomor and millions of Ukrainians killed because they were white people that were of non-Jewish descent, which I won't get into. The point is, maybe he had to be, okay? Hitler did not want to erase everybody who did not have blonde hair, blue eyes. This is a misnomer. This has been refuted. And also, really quickly, why did he even have part Jewish or even fully Jewish honorary Aryans, especially from the Finnish SS, the Schutzstaffel volunteer from Latvia, all these different countries? Okay, really quickly, with Cantwell, with denouncing violence, feel free to stop me anytime. It's your show. I'm just trying to be... I'm trying to be concise here. You guys are hard to refute with some of this stuff or get it in. Regarding threats, regarding violence, regarding this advocacy, right? Of course, this is far leftist media. This is propaganda. This is garbage. If you listen to Cantwell's podcast regularly, you would hear that he says that basically he denounces this kind of violence. Like, he doesn't necessarily morally condemn it, so maybe you can make an argument against him there, but he says that, listen, this is inefficient from a productivity standpoint. If you go out and you kill a bunch of black people, a bunch of Muslims, a bunch of Jews, a bunch of feminists, whoever, you are not going to be around for the pro-white movement or for anything to do with a more beneficial kind of thing for your people. So he denounces that. And the last thing I want to say, and again, you guys close it out, of course, it's your show, and thank you very much for being such a gracious host. It's one reason I listen to you guys is the counterbalance, even though I am a Cantwell fan. Really quickly, and Aria, you specifically should resonate with this. If Miss So if Miss Queen, Christopher Cantwell, girl, oh, right, kidding around. But if Chris Cantwell came out and said, hey, I'm transgender, and cried his eyes out, oh, I'm trans, or oh my God, the left, had he not had this Nazi past, would they not have lapped it up? But I find it very hypocritical and very disgusting of the
I think
left.
they still would.
Yeah, well, maybe
I
they
believe
would.
they
but
still
I'm just
would.
saying, but the left made fun of him as a cis straight man, an unapologetic cis straight man having an emotional moment.
Yeah, but we understand that both the left and the right, basically Americans in general, have the social memory of a fish.
When I was at Franklin Pierce University during the sheriff campaign, I had their LGBTQ club president come up to me and said something degrading about, cis hetero people, and I was just like, I don't agree with that.
You have to remember, like, these are the people on the right that right now we are looking at some of the biggest budget deficit jumps in history under Trump, and the right is like, oh, did you see that squirrel over there? And under Obama, it was all about debts, and so they're all their memory of like who they were 5 years ago is gone. It's the same thing with the left. Yeah. The same people that were condemning stuff. These are okay. The left. This is all you need to know about the left. The leaders of Black Lives Matter campaigned for Hillary Clinton, even though she campaigned for the omnibus crime bill and referred to black people who were out of pocket as super predators that needed to be put back in their place. So, and that's all you need to know, is that a woman who said that publicly and who publicly supported one of the most racist crime bills to ever, she campaigned for it. While her husband was in office. She campaigned for it. One of the most racist bills that has turned the American prison system into slavery 2.0. And they campaigned for her. So that's all you need to know about the left and the right, and the fact that they don't remember anything. So literally, Cantwell could come out tomorrow and be like, I'm having sexual reassignment surgery on Thursday, and I've decided I'm transgendered. And Linda Sarsour and the Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement and all of those people would suddenly put her on the cover of Vogue magazine.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, you're dead on about that, guys. Like, you're dead on about that. Like, you're right. The selective. That's
why I don't respect either side, the Trumpkins or the Obama bots.
And I'm not trying to pigeonhole you as leftist. All I'm saying is, like, look at this kind of universal human, and look, like I said, like, we see weakness, and it's kind of almost a natural, nature-based thing, which then that has arguments with libertarianism and individualism and all this other stuff that we can't get into right now. But all I'm saying is, like, this. Look at it this way, okay? One guy is a straight cis male that has unpopular politics in this current day and age. He is laughed at. He is called a sissy. He is called all these names that could arguably be, quote, homophobic or transphobic. However, if this same individual
it's
had
important
come
to
out,
remember.
right?
It is important to remember that Chris Cantwell notoriously and intentionally markets himself as an alpha male, right?
Yeah. Well, he has been. He's fought communists, Aria. Face to face. Mace. You ever been maced?
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but trendy
this butch ass alpha male sitting there going, "Oh, look how tough I am! Please don't arrest me."
No, man. I'm sorry.
He's gonna get made fun of.
You don't get credit as a big alpha male because you're fighting some sissified, long beard having, can't change a damn tire, chop wood hipster. I'm sorry. These kids have like 3% muscle mass. You don't get to act like you're Conan the freaking Barbarian because you went toe to toe with a hipster.
I know, but Will, they had 2x4s and weapons, dude. It wasn't
again. If you're a hipster and you come after me with a 2x4 and I weigh half what Chris does, you better hope that you're very well trained with that. Otherwise, I'm going to take it away from you and I'm going to put you across my knee like your mother should have, and I'm going to spank you in your little bottom, and I'm going to send you home to your mother. Because that's what you do with hipsters. They can't even change a tire. Why should we be afraid of them? Anyway, we'll be back with more. Thanks for calling in tonight, Rev. We'll be back with more Talk Radio tomorrow night. If you want more Talk Radio tonight, though, stick around because we got Free Talk Live coming up next.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a